check on the sheep. Oh, there's May. I haven't been out here in a day or two. There's May and her twins, Cinnamon and Otillie. Hey, y'all. Hey, our video is not going to be very long today. We've had a lot going on at home, and sorry, my camera, I've got it sitting on a post, and it's not really high enough, so I'm kind of trying to squat down a little bit. Our video is not going to be very long today. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about mastitis. I wanted to tell you what happened with May. In a previous video, I had mentioned that May had some issues when she lambed. Now, the lambing was fine. She gave birth completely fine. Her lambs are really great. The only issue we had is we thought that she had mastitis. Now, what is mastitis? So mastitis is a bacterial infection that forms in the udder when damage or trauma or something has happened to the teat. Or they can also get an infection in their teat, like maybe no damage happened or no trauma happened, but maybe some infection got in there. Okay, I will show you. There is a hen there that's fussing. Oh, yeah. She's fussing at another hen that's down in there in that hole, if you can see. I think that's the preferred egg laying place, and that's where she wants to lay her egg, and she wants the other hen to move. Let me go shoo her away for a minute. Okay, maybe she'll be quiet for a few minutes anyway. I'm not gonna drag this out. Also, the ram is walking behind me, so make sure he goes without stopping to say hello to me. Okay, the ram is why I have this. It's one of Sophia's little garden tools, but it's perfect to just pop somebody, and if they decide he wants to get too rough with me, which I have had happen before, not with the rams that we have now, but with another ram. Anyway, it's always good to have some kind of protection. I'll set this down while I'm talking though, because they have walked on. Okay, so mastitis, bacterial infection that gets in the udder through the teat, or if damage or something has happened, to the teat. And most of the time it just happens on one side. So one of the udders will be fine and the other udder will swell up. There's milk in there that won't come out or can't come out. And so it stays large, so the lamb may eat on the other side, and then the udder that's damaged will stay large and swollen. It gets pink or red and warm to the touch, so there's fever and you can tell there's infection in it, and no milk will come out of that side. Well, after about 24 hours of May having her lambs, we noticed that was happening to her udder. One side was normal, and you could tell that both of the lambs were eating on that one side. And the other side was really large and swollen, warm to the touch, and pink. And we tried to milk that side, and we could not get any milk out.
Is that light helping or no?
Yes. We contacted our vet, and they told us what to do. Now, there are different types of treatment for mastitis, and it may depend on the animal that you have. Any animal that nurses their offspring can get mastitis, including humans. So, it could be pretty common, I guess, but we've never dealt with mastitis here on our farm, so we didn't really know what to do. So we called our vet. This is where having a good working relationship with your vet comes in handy. So we called our vet, and they told us what to do to treat. There are different ways to treat mastitis, and in our case, this is what worked for us if indeed she had mastitis. We had to give her a dose of antibiotic through just giving her a shot. There are some treatments that require you to put the antibiotic up in the teat, to squirt it up in there, but that is not what we had to do. So we gave her a dose of antibiotics. We gave her a dose of an anti-inflammatory pain medication, basically. And they told us to take the lambs off of her. Of course, that means they would be bottle fed and give her body a chance to heal. So by the time we talked to the vet and we actually got the medication, got back home, we tried once again to milk her on that bad side. I did milk her, and actually we got milk out. And another sign of mastitis is if the milk does come out and it is clumpy and has a bad smell to it, basically ruined milk, then there's an infection in there. Well, her milk wasn't like that. Her milk was normal. No smell, no clumping, and it looked completely normal. And then that evening that I was able to milk her, we also saw the lambs actually nurse on that side, and she was standing there and letting the lamb do that. So that told us that it wasn't as tender or sore as we thought it was, which would also happen if she had mastitis. That one side would be sore and tender. So we called our vet back, and they asked us the questions about the milk. What does it look like, smell like, all of those things. And they said it would be okay to go ahead and give her the medication and just go ahead and leave the lambs on her, but keep a very close eye on them and see how it works, because what could have happened is she could have had mastitis or any type of infection, and her body could have actually corrected itself, or she did not have mastitis to begin with, and the lambs were just in fact eating on one side and there was really no infection in the other side. I don't know, but we treated her like we were told, left the lambs on her, kept a very close eye. That's why we kept them in the barn for 5 days. We kept a very close eye on May and the lambs to make sure they were gaining weight and to make sure she was producing the milk that she needed to produce. And it turned out fine. She actually was able to nurse. They're still nursing, and the lambs are growing like weeds. And I don't know if you can hear that, but the cow is drinking out of that bucket. We catch rainwater in that bucket to help us with watering the animals around here. It comes off of our little shed and drips right into that bucket. A rabbit trail. So that was the deal with May. Everything ended up being fine. She looks great now, and after the 5 days we could tell that, or even before the 5 days was up that we had to watch her, we could tell that she was getting better. So anyway, that's our story with May. It all ended up working out. I'm glad it did, because it can run into a lot of money to have a bottle baby, because you have to buy the replacement milk for at least 4 weeks, and that can get expensive. And then if you have twins, then that's double expensive, right? So we're so glad it worked out the way it did. And I'm sorry we don't have a lot of action to show you on the farm. I do have a few videos of the lambs I'll put in to this video. And don't know if you've ever wondered about mastitis, or if this video could help you if you are experiencing mastitis with your flock. Also, mastitis can ruin the udder of your animal as well. So you could lose that side. So in the future, they could have lambs or whatever, have babies, and still feed on the one side, on the one udder, but most people don't keep their animals after they have mastitis because it can ruin the udder. Mastitis can be a very nasty, bad thing, and it can also make the animal really, really sick, and you can lose the animal. She could die as well. If there's an infection in the udder, our vet also told us to keep an eye on the lambs because sometimes they can get a respiratory infection from drinking on mom if she does have an infection in the udder. So none of those things happened. Everything ended up working out great. Thank y'all for joining me today. Got my coffee here. This is a Christmas gift I had from one of my kids, and it does a great job. I know there's been a lot of talk about Stanley's and all of that. I mean, we do like Stanley. Rusty's got another cup, another, like, I don't know if it's probably like a 12, maybe a 15 ounce, and it's got like a trigger action top on it. That we got him, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, and he's used it a lot. It really works well. Then I've got this Stanley, and then he's got a thermos, one of those big old-fashioned green ones, except this one isn't old. We just got it a couple of years ago, but one of the big tall ones. I'll try to get a picture of that and show you. Because he thought he'd be using that a lot on work sites, maybe take a thing of chili or a thing of soup with him to eat for lunch, but he actually hasn't used it that much for that. I think he used it more for tea or water than anything else. I see the lambs jumping and playing. I'm fixing to see if I can get that, and we'll see you in the next video next week. Oh, I also wanted to say, we got a lot going on right now. We got, tax season. I've got a senior in high school. We're trying to get a lot of school done and finished up that he got a little bit behind on through the summer. So he has spent this winter really, really working hard trying to get all of that stuff complete so that he can graduate. And he is on track to graduate. He just has a lot of work to do. So I've got that. We've had lambing, so I got, a little behind on stuff. I have taxes to work on, a lot of paperwork, and just things like that. So there may not, my plan was to do 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and it was working well for a while. But during this little season, until tax season is over, I may have to go back to 1 video a week. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, thank you for joining us today. I hope I helped you a little bit on mastitis. Thank you for keeping up with our sheep and our lambs. And we really appreciate you and look forward to growing the channel and putting out more videos in the future. If there's anything that you would like for us to show about the sheep, then we would be glad to. Just let us know in the comments. And I hope you have a great week. The lambs were running and jumping and playing, and of course I did not get that on video, and they're not going to do it now. So I think our flock looks pretty good, except for Grace. I mean, she's doing okay. She just had a hard start in life with losing her mom, and it just affected her the way she grew. Cinnamon, Otillie, Rose, and Hazel back there. The mamas are doing good. There's a mama. There's a mama. And then I don't know, May is probably over here.
Ain't no round head. She's a funny eyes.
There's May back there. She's looking good. Oh, there's Grace. Hey, Grace. How are you?
They didn't have a drop. They had nary a bit of hay.
Oh, really?
I filled up last night. Boy, sure. Well, I guess the lambs are eating.